Hi everyone, it's Grace Bell. Welcome to Eating Peace. I'm the creator of Eating Peace retreats and programs. I wanted to share one little interesting tidbit today of how to look and find underlying beliefs that are happening when you feel like you're reaching for food, or you've got this weird love-hate relationship with eating, not eating, exercising, not exercising, or whatever's going on with yourself when it comes to compulsive movement. And we're talking about with food and eating, or even just thinking and obsessing about eating and whether or not you're doing it right. What I noticed when I was deep into eating behavior, and I still have this trend that exists in my life, is a voice that is extremely critical, right? It's almost violently critical. It's like, what's wrong with you? You can't do it right. You'll never get this. Are you stupid or something? It's harsh. Many of us have that voice. It's sort of a human condition to have a voice like that, that is powerfully critical, negative, fighting, sort of like a defender in a way. And it can have sort of a really immature kind of childlike bully aspect to it. And I often see in myself, as I said, but also working with people, that they really let that voice come on super strong when they're in the midst of, an eating process, that they're letting it like almost start yelling at them and feeding. That's a good word for it. I'm feeding the violence of that voice, and everything in that voice is against me. I'm mad at myself. I focus on myself. It's like if only I could change. Look at you and what you're doing. Something's wrong with you. You need to get help. What? You just said you weren't going to eat that anymore, and now you're eating it again. Very painful, difficult. But I suggest that this voice actually has a way of covering up other things that are even more painful to see. So when you stay in the realm of self-criticism like that, self-hate, self-judgment, looking at yourself in the mirror even, and immediately saying that's ugly, there's something wrong with it. When you stay there, it kind of prevents you from seeing something that might even be more painful to see. It feels like it's going to break your heart. But it's some other underlying belief or assumption that's running within you that actually propels you towards eating and towards movement, like feeling desperate. So if you had a little compassion for yourself in that moment and were gentle in any way whatsoever, then you might be able to see what else it is you're actually afraid of. I find that intense anger and criticism only comes out when I'm really afraid under the surface. Under the surface of that kind of energy is fear. One way you can find it, and I know I say all the time to write in your journal, but hard to find something that part of you doesn't want to see. What am I afraid of? Here's an exercise that I'll share with you today. You can let me know how it goes. Write with your non-dominant hand in your journal. Just get out a piece of paper, get out your actual journal if you're keeping one. And if you're right-handed, write with your left hand. If you're left-handed, write with your right hand. You'll see that it's kind of got this childlike chicken scratch kind of weird funny thing, and it's really slow. You're going to write like with a pen. And think about that feeling of learning to write, being really new with writing. And let yourself have kind of a childlike, maybe like, how old are you when you're learning to write? 6 years old or 7 or maybe only 5 or 4. You're learning how to write. And just notice if you really let yourself have that voice and what you feel most afraid of as you look at this quote-unquote problem, this compulsive problem you have, reaching towards that thing, in this case, food and eating. What's going on? What else are you afraid of? What are you alarmed by about life? What's the worst that could happen? These are really hard things to look at, but to find what you're assuming is frightening about the world and about your life is going to be so much more rewarding as you face it and turn towards it and look at it with kind of a sense of gentleness in a way, And it's amazing that as you look at what you're afraid of, that screaming voice that's against you and against how you are will actually tone down. It can even die down altogether and not just be there anymore. Or if it pops up in some particular way, you just notice, oh, honey, what are you afraid of? And let yourself see what it is you're afraid of. Common, deep, underlying assumptions that people are afraid of are being abandoned. I'm all alone in the world. If I become thin, like if I don't eat, if I become attractive, then I will get too much attention. And too much attention means, see what it is, jealousy, somebody attacking me, somebody wanting me too much. I need to say no. Just see what the things are in your life that you do that prevent you from becoming peaceful with your this compulsive behavior, in this case, food and eating. What do you do that prevents you from peace, that keeps you away from peace with that like sabotages your efforts? See what they are, and then see why you might be doing that. And you can write it out. It helps you slow down. Why would I really be doing it? Because there's a reason. It is never about the food. It is never about the actual activity that you're trying to do that would take you away from your current life. It's never about that. We don't need to fix that. That will just die away as you see what it is you're really afraid of and then question it. And my favorite is to use the work of Byron Katie, of course. That's what we do in the retreats and the programs that I do. You question what you see that you feel terrified about or really angry and upset with, especially that isn't you. You know, there's something interesting about always directing the attention towards yourself because you have a little more power that way. Yeah, okay, I'll change and then things will be better, but I don't have to go confront or really look at what's happening in my life that I haven't liked, that's happened in the past. Spending time with these other things that are not you and really exploring them and investigating what it is that has run in you maybe for many years, to explore and investigate that and give it a voice, give it time, allow it to be there, can change everything. You don't even know how it's going to change. You don't even have to make a plan. You don't even have to follow your special diet and kind of rigidly control yourself anymore. Things just die away. The compulsion just dies away as you face what it is you're afraid of. And that's step number one. This little bit that I am suggesting today is to just simply notice when you feel super hyper self-critical, right with that non-dominant hand, what else you're afraid of besides you being a failure. Anything in your life that's ever happened, just see. Okay, let me know how it goes. Bye-bye.